Hi, good morning, everyone. I know we have a few people that are still hopping on and probably will for the next minute or two, but we have a great lineup for you today. And so I do want to go ahead and get started on time. And just a reminder, if you miss anything, this will be recorded and posted. So, welcome. This is webinar 7 in our ongoing series. I can't believe we're at 7 already. We have 3 more left in our project. So, wherever you went to register for this one, you can go back in if you didn't register for the remainder. We don't have all the details posted yet, but we will soon. Just know that they will be aimed at helping veterans with their risk management on their farms and ranches. And we really try to bring in the best people that we know to share information with you. So we're going to go ahead and get started with today's webinar. We're very excited today to be talking about how to market your veteran-owned farm and ranch using Idaho Preferred and Homegrown by Heroes state branding, and just to really talk about how a state branding program like this might help you and what are some of the added benefits of getting involved. Our guest presenter today is Erica White. She's the Idaho Preferred Program Manager with the Idaho State Department of Agriculture, and I'll share a little bit more about her in a minute. Welcome, Erica. We're really glad to have you on today.
Thanks for having me.
So a few different things just for general housekeeping is that if you are having problems with your sound or your video or the quality of today's presentation, it might be on our end, but often we're finding that it's on the broadband side, or maybe if your computer is running too many different programs, you might have some glitches here and there. So you might close other programs. There was a phone number in the invite for the webinar. So if you're really having problems, you can always watch the screen and call in and get the sound on your phone. While we can't see you or hear you today, we do want you to be engaged in the discussion. And so we do have the question and answer and the chat feature where you can talk to us directly and we can answer those questions. We're very willing to do that today. We want that to be part of it. And then also this is being recorded and we will post it on our YouTube channel with the other 6 webinars that are part of this series. And you will get a reminder email about where to find that when it's over. And if you are watching this as a recording, glad that you found it. So at the end of the live webinar too, I just wanted to let you know there will be an automatic survey that pops up that is our survey. And it's just to get a little bit of feedback about this webinar. And it's very important to us to get your feedback. It's something we have to report to our funder, and it helps us to make these better for you. So a little bit about our project. University of Idaho and the Farmer Veteran Coalition chapter of Idaho are teamed up to do this project. And we are committed to improving the economic opportunities and the quality of life for our military veterans that might be choosing agriculture as their next mission, whether as a hobby, whether as something just to provide food for their family or their communities, or if they are full on going into business. And this webinar is part of a project that is our collaboration aimed at reducing risk for military veterans that are engaged in agriculture. And the funding is provided through a Western Extension Risk Management Education Center grant. And so through September of this year, we'll be delivering multifaceted production, marketing, financial, legal, and human risk management education to new and beginning veteran farmers and ranchers across the state. And we're going to be doing this through these monthly webinars. We also have a podcast series, and we've begun hosting regional in-person workshops and tours in each corner of the state. So our team, we might sound like we're doing a lot and there's a lot of us, but it's really the 2 of us. And then we're joined by different partners throughout the project. I'm Ariel Agenbrod. I'm the Area Extension Educator in Community Food Systems and Small Farms for University of Idaho Extension. I'm located in Boise, but I work regionally in my small farm business development courses and classes. And then I work statewide in farmers markets, military veterans in agriculture, and some farm to school and farm to preschool programs. And then joining us in this project is Connie May, who is really the driving force behind a lot of our work to do outreach to veterans. She's retired Air Force, and she's been our program coordinator for quite some time now. And she's also wearing the hat of president of the Idaho Farmer Veteran Coalition Idaho chapter. So just a little bit about the chapter. It has been around for a few years now. Our chapter, our state chapter, but nationally it was founded in 2009. It does cover many states in the United States. We're really proud to have a chapter here. We'd love to have you join us. If you are not already a member, it is free to join. You do not have to be a veteran to join the coalition. You can be a supporter, an advisor, a stakeholder, a fan, someone who believes in this work. But our farmer veterans do have a lot of advantages by being a member. And one of those is having access to the Homegrown by Heroes Idaho Preferred branding that we're going to be talking about today. So sorry, this slide got a little bit messed up. That QR code there will take you to the Idaho chapter website where it's really easy to sign up and join us. And Connie is here if you want to chat with her. She's got all the information about our Idaho chapter, what we do, and how to join. So some of the other projects of our of this grant project, right? I mentioned the webinars. So you can register for all of them at once or one at a time. Each one is focused on a different topic, and we've tried to bring in experts in the state or region to help address those things. And then our podcast is really special, and I'm just a really big fan of it. Connie is the host, and this is where we specifically interview veteran farmers and ranchers to get their stories and to collect their insight related to all these different topics. So we've kind of got the balance here, and we're now on, I think, our 7th podcast too. So there is a QR code. We'll also send it in a follow-up to this webinar if you'd like to listen to those. They're all very easy listens, about 15, 20 minutes max. And it's really great to hear the stories from our veteran farmers and ranchers. So one thing that's been very exciting is our regional workshops and tours. We held the first one in November in Caldwell, and that was really great to meet some of our local folks. And we've got 2 more scheduled, one for March in Pocatello and one for April in Sandpoint. So hopefully this will cover or maybe be somewhat near to you. And if not, we really apologize. There's only so many that we can have. But these workshops are focused directly on risk management education and also bringing together veteran farmers to meet each other, to meet resource providers. We involve tours, we have some great meals, and then because of this grant funding, it's free to attend for all veterans and their family members. So let's get back to today, because I know Erica has a lot to talk about and she's really good at talking about this, so I'm excited to listen. So our goals for today, we're hoping that after you have been in this webinar, you will learn more about Idaho Preferred and the Homegrown by Heroes branding and how it might be able to be used as a marketing strategy for your farm or ranch. We hope that you'll be able to identify if this state branding is a good fit to help your farm business reduce their marketing risks once you learn about some of the benefits. And then hopefully you'll learn how to take steps take the next steps to determine if this branding is for you and how to get involved and sign up. So, Eric, I know you didn't send me this photo, but it's my favorite photo of you. It's so cute. And I know that this is how you feel about local food. So Erica White is the Idaho Preferred Program Manager for the Idaho State Department of Agriculture. She's a Pacific Northwest native. She has a BA in business, concentrating in small business, entrepreneurship, and marketing, and has coupled it with her love for food, art, and the community. And alongside the rest of the Idaho Preferred team, Erica works to amplify and enhance the program's initiatives, in turn strengthening the local economy and community connection to our Idaho ag and its producers. And I know that Erica also has a very special and personal connection to veterans, but I'll let her explain that. So that's all I have. I'm going to stop my screen. Erica's going to bring up her slides, and then I'm going to turn the time over to her.
Thanks so much, Ariel and Connie, and thanks for that really kind introduction. So I'm just going to take a little technical moment and get my screen shared here. Okay, now before I switch fully, I guess I should have introduced myself a little bit further, but I'll do so through my screen. 1 second. Okay.
That looks good.
Wonderful. So just as Ariel mentioned, I am with the Idaho State Department of Agriculture under the Idaho Preferred program, really focusing on our state's domestic efforts. And I'll kind of get into what that means as we get going through this presentation. But, at the heart of it, I get to truly help our farmers, ranchers, and food crafters throughout the state, and think it is one of the most rewarding jobs I could probably ever have. Prior to that, you learned a little bit about my education, but I followed my husband around while he was in the military as a spouse, and felt like I had a really unique perspective on that because I did so through traveling around in an RV. So we lived in, I think, over 9 different states, directly on air bases. And I just was able to be right by his side through that whole process. He never deployed, so it was a little untraditional in that sense, but he was a search and rescue medical technician out of helos in the Navy. So just was a really special time in our life, and I'm excited to be able to continue sharing resources now that help promote our veteran community. All right, so to get started, Idaho Preferred is a state branded program. We are really truly focused on our promotional efforts, whether it be through the farm to consumer connection or our wholesale B2B efforts, our business to business efforts. So our mission overall is to promote, connect, and educate Idaho producers with opportunities to help them scale their marketplace. The program has been around for 22 years. So this initial initiative started back in 2003 when a group of farmers and ranchers and food crafting businesses got together, as well as distributors and some retailers, aside ISDA to develop a state branded program. In doing so, they really comprised a pretty unique makeup. Obviously, it was much smaller back then, but nowadays we're looking at a pretty unique diversity within our membership. So we're looking at 30% producers, 32% processors, and processors does include ranchers who are having their meat processed at a USDA inspected facility. We have our food service industry through restaurants, our farmers markets, of course, our retailer, distributor, and broker systems, and then our supporting organizations like the Farmer Veteran Coalition. So during the initial founding of the program, there was a logo established. So most people see it today as this little blue and gold logo up in the upper left-hand corner. And the real focus on this logo was to ensure that the products that are Idaho-grown, raised, or crafted had some type of integrity to them, indicating that they at least had 20% ag content by weight. So they got together and put together a set of rules of eligibility to be able to participate in the program. So you see a lot of producers, as we refer to them, those are farmers. That's usually going to be 100% ag content by weight because it's derived directly and cultivated from the ground. Where that 20% really comes into play is when we're talking about our crafter or processor population, when we're looking at taking a crafted product, maybe it's a honey that has different herbs added into it. It could be chocolate, it could be marshmallows. It's truly variable, but those are our value added products. And so it's our goal to ensure that each product that has this logo for identity is noting that it has at least a certain percentage of ag content by weight. So you can go ahead and find those down there at the idahopreferred.com /member/requirements to get a full breakdown, because each of these categories does have different specifications put together. And you can also find on that section like a really simplified breakdown to be able to help quickly digest it. But there's also our zero-based rulemaking laws that you guys can look through as well that kind of delineate things further. So the Homegrown by Heroes logo is a dual logo that we actually started back in 2023. So we were really excited to partner with the Farmer Veteran Coalition to introduce this dual branded logo. So the label essentially identifies that the products not only are grown or raised here in the state, but they are from military veterans that are residents of Idaho. And so the overall goal is to be able to help consumers identify this logo, this labeling system, to be able to help them in their decision-making process for procurement. So as Ariel mentioned, the mission of the Farmer Veteran Coalition is really to extend helping provide further expertise to veterans at all levels of their farming journey. So different resources such as this being able to be provided, different mentorship for new veteran farmers, which we all love to see, and then different networking resources for funding or training opportunities. So who's really eligible for the Homegrown by Heroes logo? Again, they first has to fit within the criteria of Idaho Preferred's eligibility. And then second, what is listed here is what you'll find on the Homegrown by Heroes website. So any veteran of any branch of the U.S. military from all service eras, including those currently serving, those who have received are characterized of service honorable or general under honorable conditions upon discharge, agribusiness and farming operations that maintain a minimum of 50% veteran ownership and a minimum of 50% veteran management control, and then value-added products that contain a minimum of 50% non-water ingredients produced by an HBH certified producer. So the benefits to the Homegrown by Heroes label, we've talked about it a little bit, but market differentiation is going to be a big one. It's going to help set the consumer awareness of your product apart, highlighting that you are a veteran-produced product. The consumer support, so they're going to provide a direct way for consumers to support veterans. So we do see a little bit of a economical difference there. And then increased visibility, enhancing recognition at farmers markets, on packaging, and in retail spaces. I think that's the most direct to consumer way for us to be able to see that education in play. And then storytelling and connections, love being able to have those conversations, helping the audience know their farmer, know their food leads to loyalty and repeat business. And then, of course, the competitive advantage, national recognition boosts brand credibility and market appeal. For us at Idaho Preferred, we also have extensive resources that I'm excited to kind of dive into that are going to help just further enhance these initiatives and benefits. So Idaho Preferred. So first and foremost, you've seen the logo and the dual certified logo. So both of those would be accessible for use. We have a farm and food finder listing. We have a veteran finder listing, what we recently just launched and are continuing to enhance and expand. We operate seasonal promotions. We'll dive into what that looks like here in a minute. We, alongside those, we have complementary digital assets such as directories and guides. We ensure we have business development resources on our website to be able to have ease of use. These videos and other types of veteran resources will be listed there. And then we also really work hard on our business development connections. So that's our retailers, our restaurants, our farmers markets, food service, brokers, distributors. It's really targeted at that wholesale line of communication and just trying to help open the doors. If it's more a direct-to-consumer initiative, we have a whole slew of resources for that as well. We've also developed a virtual learning lab with different digital marketing classes, everything from how to set up a Shopify account to having a photo toolkit on your farm that is both economical, but also simplified and easy to use. We have our consumer and our industry newsletters. So our consumer audience goes out to almost 11,000, and then our industry newsletter goes out to about 7,000 just throughout the state alone. We have our digital and traditional marketing opportunities. So we'll dive into what some of our campaigns and advertising look like and how we really try to be as inclusive as possible through that process. And then our photo and video assets, we really target on a seasonal basis. We do our best seasonally because we are in agriculture. We know that different periods of the growing season, our farms might look different. And so we do try during the growing season and harvest season to go out and capture as much content as possible to be able to provide assets to producers. So our program pillars look like direct to consumer initiatives. So that's our seasonal promotions such as CSA, it might be organics, our farm stands, agritourism, and even just setting up your initial e-commerce websites. Our retail initiatives, they're actually pretty much the backbone of our program. We do a lot during the harvest season when bounty is at its peak, working with retailers, distributors, visual merchandisers, sampling companies, and even getting producers on site so consumers can meet their farmer to really amplify getting more product out there directly accessible in our local retail locations throughout the state. We work with our restaurant community, our food service, and our chef community. So we try to aid in ingredient sourcing. We also do the same thing for our value-added food processor community. We want to make sure we're trying to pinpoint where those local ingredients are, and then also trying to aid with any business expansion resources needed, such as directing them. Maybe it's meat processing facilities, it could be cold storage. We've really tried to do a good job at providing those resources to the community. We have farm to school efforts as well. So a lot of that is focused on the procurement connection side of the house, and also the education components, whether it's in the classroom directly from teacher to student, or it's to the child nutrition services staff who fill the plates in the lunchroom. We have our other supporting partners, which we are a big pillar in helping provide educational resources. So that's everybody from our commodity commissions and associations, different departments. We utilize our media resources. So your regular news stations, your traditional print media, even content creators, and then also our supporting organizations. So what does our promotion strategy really look like in play? So we operate a multi-channel marketing strategy we refer to as omni-channel, and it is truly a various multifaceted touch point. So you're looking at your website as our primary funnel resources. We try to do a good job at making sure that we have strong filters, SEO, as much content as we can get on the website to be able to redirect and then siphon back to our producers for as much direct to procurement opportunities as we can gather for them. So we'll kind of dive into what that looks like as well here shortly. Our social media is kind of our first tagline and nod to the producer, getting that information out to the consumer. So we do that through different seasonal promotions, different partnering events, our content creators, our media. We also do recipes. We try to do as many collaborations as we can with producers directly, and we try to do it through the form of education and tips to help create more knowledge to the audience. And then we, of course, take those resources and funnel them through, like I said, our newsletters. Our consumer newsletter goes out once a month, and then we have an industry member newsletter that may go out once a month, maybe every other month, just depending on the season and what we have going. And then we'll do, of course, segmented email communications as well. We do rely heavily on our public relation efforts. So any seasonal promotion that we run, we're always going to start out with the governor's proclamation to be able to kick those initiatives off. We actually just wrapped up our CSA promotion, in which we start with the governor's proclamation, move into a general video advertising, print features, media collaborations, straight down to just having directories that note to this consumers throughout the state where they can find local product. And then our in-person events. We really think that's a fantastic way to connect with our community, and then also be able to help, take companies, maybe it's to trade shows, maybe it's, farmers markets, just trying to create more engagement from consumers at those, different type of events. So here's an example of some of our seasonal promotions. So like I said, we're in that first quarter, so we're looking at our community supported agriculture promotion. We're still running it currently, as well as winter agritourism, and we're going to be shifting into the beginning of our growing season, so nursery and horticulture month. Then we move into our farm stands, craft beer month, nursery and horticulture still remains during that time. We have our wine month, our dairy month, and then our honey and pollinators campaign, as well as our spring agritourism. Then we'll move into the third quarter where we're focused on beef. We also focus on other protein sources during that time, noting that it's the grilling season, organics, farmers markets, because things are really starting to perk up in terms of crops, agritourism, and then our big harvest season retail initiatives that happen both at farm stands and at major retailers. October through December, it's really focused on our food service community, our farm to school initiatives, and then we have a very cool holiday gift box I'll be excited to share with you guys here shortly. So this is kind of just an example at the bottom of how we funnel that. So here's an example of horticulture month. We start out with the governor's proclamation. We move into the general advertising, which we do place media dollars behind to be able to get that consumer awareness out there, that tracks back to the farm and food finder and gets people directly to their region and the places that they can connect directly with those producers. And then, different explainer videos to just kind of ignite excitement and motivation to the consumer audience. Our website resources remain a pretty big fundamental of our program. The first most visited is going to be our farm and food finder. Second, of course, is our homepage, which we just do our best to make sure we've got updated current events on that, and then our producer map. So 83% of our total website visits came from these three pages in 2024. So our farm and food finder actually got, let's call it an infrastructure expansion this year. We really dove deep into developing some new filters just because we are a big state. We have over 185, larger commodities that we regularly promote, but we know that that number can trickle up into 400, 500, 600. So we just wanted to make sure we were doing a good job at being able to help people find local ingredients and producers. So we developed an actual integrated search that pulled directly from our farm and food finder. So this just gives you an example of some of the resources that might be on that. Blogs, recipes, offering pages, and producer profiles are all a part of our strategy to help funnel back to producers directly. This is a little blurry, so hopefully you guys can see it. When you take a screenshot from the website and you blow it up, sometimes this happens, but I think you'll get the gist. So some of the new features that we did integrate into our farm and food finder this year was the ability to turn on or off Idaho Preferred memberships. So you can have a call out. It will not list the products and services, but we do have a place where we can have all producers be on the map. We also have the opportunity to turn on or off our wholesale vendors. So if you're a restaurant or retailer, anybody really looking for wholesale ingredient opportunities, this is going to be their easy wholesale directory to identify which producers may have products for them. And then, of course, stronger filtering options at the bottom. So if you were to click down on this product offerings, you'd see a very robust list of different overarching crops, so not necessarily the varietals. Those can be done through the ingredient search. We have a veteran map. So this just was launched 2 weeks ago. We are very excited that we finally have this capability. So you'll see there's only 10 organizations so far associated with it. We do have the option to be able to filter by certification. So you will see, I didn't put it on here, but you'll see, I think we have 5 different Homegrown by Heroes, dual certified that you can kind of niche down to, but this is a overarching veteran owned. So just because maybe you're not dual certified, maybe you just are Idaho Preferred, we still have a way to call you out as a veteran owned business through this resource. And then here's an example of our updated directory pages. Right here, this is Ted and his wife from Sunshine Acres. They're out in Emmett. They are a direct-to-consumer farm. They do have CSAs, farm stands. They also have their e-commerce website set up. But this is actually the state's second ever dual certified homegrown by Heroes operation. And they're really proud of it, and we're very proud to have them a part of the program. You can see right here, there's these little characteristics up at the top. Each one of these can be clicked on, and it'll take you to segmented maps and lists of producers throughout the state. As you scroll down further on these pages, this is where it kind of gets into the details. We do have more product category tagging. We have wholesale offerings, agritourism. So these can really be expanded to whatever best fits your business. Some producers don't actually have a website. They just use Idaho Preferred's directory page as their primary website to help funnel direct-to-consumer business to them. So that's one easy way to save a little bit of money when it comes to developing a website. You are more than welcome to use this as a complementary asset, or you could actually just use it as your overall web page. So you'll see that we have all of these products and services tagged here. If you are a location that can be visited, we'll indicate that in this area. They are a CSA, so if you were to click on that tab, it gives you the ability to note, how regularly they do their CSA share, what times of the year they operate, and what are their offerings. So we tried to drill down as much as possible depending on what are your offering or services being provided. Here's an example of some of our new characteristics. So at the top, you saw producer. You can be a processor, maybe you're family owned, you're a food crafter, you're veteran owned, aggregator, distributor, broker, retailer, and the list really does go on. You'll be able to find that on idahopreferred.com/characteristics to be able to see the full list of the different ways that you can segment and call out your business in unique ways. Our offering category pages, this is just another route to be able to funnel traffic to your websites directly. So you'll go on to our farm and food finder, and you just select the category or the product service, and just easily click on those icons to be able to delineate segmented lists of the products that you offer. So here's examples of some of these offering pages. We do excellent job at creating both a guide and a statewide directory. So the directories are meant to be all inclusive. Like in the middle, you see the farm stand directory. There's printable and digital versions of those so that they can be printed, often brochure format, or just at home use. So if somebody at home wanted to go find a farm stand in their region, they would easily be able to do so just by having that printable near them, or they can utilize the website map to do so as well. The guides are more storytelling oriented, and those ones specifically call out Idaho Preferred producers who have been verified to be eligible for the program, so we know that their product was grown, raised, or crafted in the state. And, in terms of a farm stand, you could be looking at some product being brought in. So there's just, some anomalies in those situations. Here's an example of the Veteran Finder page. So you see the guide we're actually in the process of developing currently. And then we have list of different veteran resources. If you were to scroll down on this page, you'd be able to see the veteran map along with other supporting organization resources. All of these are funneled into our What's in Season calendar. This is actually way more of a fun tool than I initially expected when I started. We have this little fridge magnet that you see on the right-hand side, and honestly, it is quite a hot commodity. You can just pick this magnet up, slap it on your fridge, just for easy access to learn what's in season. But you can also shift back onto our website, and you can either click the month at the top and identify crops that are in season during that time, and then it will list out the producers based on the crop through the map and the farm and food finder. And you can also do that by crop as well. And then I talked about it, our recipe pages and our blogs. We did develop a new way to be able to have a collaborative recipe or a collaborative blog to help provide more SEO and ways to get the consumer excited and get you back to using your product. So you'll see we've got like Gallup Family Farms, Flanagan Creek Flower Farms. So you'll be able to submit recipes to be on the website that will track back directly to your products. And it's very similar with the blogs. With the blogs, we do try to make it more educational approach. So if there's a topic, maybe it's picking a peach. I mean, that's very general, but maybe you have something more in line with your practices, or maybe it's a family story about how a product was developed. We'd love to be able to provide some of that education out there to the consumer audience. Our statewide guides and directories, so those look like our nursery guides, our farm-raised meat guides, the CSA directory, and even the farm stand directory. You can see down here that those contribute to 29% of our overall website traffic and do generate a pretty significant amount of direct downloads. So this isn't the downloads, that's them taking the additional step to actually click on that takes them back to that that PDF to be able to print it. So you know that they've gone through the commitment process that there's like 4 or 5 other clicks that they had to take before they even get to that point. So these really break down those potential loyal customers. Our digital marketing deployment efforts. We do so through, like I mentioned in the beginning, our social media. You'll see that just our in-house reach, this means there's been no additional media funding put on it. It's truly just organic reach efforts, reach 1.65 million. We do utilize our photography and videography that we come out to the operations and take after we receive approval from the producer to do so. To be able to help generate those direct promotions. We do everything, kind of listed over here on the side. We've kind of talked about all of this stuff, but overall, we had 4.57 million impressions just this last year, and 274 in extra reach from our collaborations that we did across all of our social platforms. This 4.57 million is also including our paid advertising efforts. So here's just a couple examples of the newsletters. So our industry newsletter, we fill with resources, grants, educational opportunities, different events. Maybe it's a trade show that you might be interested in attending. We do provide some supplemental funding on some of those. It could be different directories that we're developing, or maybe it's new signage that you can utilize in your farm stand, at your farmer's market. We try to be able to get as much of the good stuff out to our industry through those efforts. And then our consumer newsletter is purely focused on promotion. Our consumer newsletter growth did really take an uptick this last year just by adding a little plug through a freemium through our recipe initiatives. So we did develop a little Idaho Preferred cookbook that tracked back to different producer products. We are going to continue that effort, but just as a sign of encouragement that our freemium, that those initiatives really do work, and hopefully it's a sign to producers out there to utilize it in a similar way for their own marketing strategies. Adding some type of freemium educational plug to your own website can be a fantastic way to start to engage with a loyal audience. So we do travel the state throughout the growing season and harvest season, really trying to, just meet with producers, get feedback, learn about what barriers they're going through, but also be their champion in their promotional efforts. So you see, this is all throughout the state, just some of these photos at the top. We will use them on the producer directory profile pages that you guys saw just a little bit ago. We'll use them in our digital marketing efforts through our product category profile pages, so those offering pages. We'll use them in different retail promotions where appropriate, different guides and statewide directories. We might use them for custom signage at your location or at a retailer if you're selling into that retail location. Members, obviously, it's a digital asset for you guys to use first and foremost. We want to make sure that you have these resources available to you. It does take time for us to get out there and capture them. So as long as you can, bear through the season with us, post-production, we try to get these assets back out to you within a couple of months. And then our overall media advertising efforts. So that's going to be larger scale general advertising initiatives or working directly with media. An example of working with media is we develop origin story videos. And these origin story videos we do put in play through all of our promotional efforts and do our best to collaborate with other supporting organization partners in that process to be able to spread the word as much as possible. But we also utilize RFD TV. Every one of our origin story videos that are launched gets played in over 52 million homes, being mindful that maybe not all 52 million of those people are able to actually watch it. But even if a certain percentage did, it is really neat that these are getting that national traction. And then they're also posted on RFD TV's blog with a recap of the segment to help further generate and link back to Idaho Preferred's producer pages to get you that direct to consumer connection. So our restaurant program, this is really targeted at our food service initiatives. Every year we try to operate some type of harvest tour where we invite our chef community throughout the state to be able to come out and go to farms directly, talk with producers who are interested in selling into restaurants. And then also we set up we call it a farmer chef collaborative, but it's kind of a mini trade show. And it's another opportunity to get more producers involved. At the end of that tour, everybody has a little table that they set up and they can network directly with our food service community. And then through our website initiatives, of course, we do our best to call out the restaurants that are doing a good job at integrating local into their menus. So you'll find a farm to table section. Those farm to table restaurants have taken that little extra step in having seasonally rotating menus and work regularly with producers in developing relationships to be able to have that regular source of fresh products on their menu. But we also have our general Idaho restaurant section, and that could look like a pizza that is sourcing Idaho cheese consistently. So there's some different degrees of what that could look like, and so we try to do a good job at calling those out in separate ways. Okay. Our retail program. So when we're working with our retailers to organize promotions throughout the year, like our harvest season initiative, we do develop custom signage. Walmart has been a founding member of the Idaho Preferred program, and they actually do a really good job here in our state of integrating as much local product as they can based on scalability. When we're talking Walmart, the producer has to be able to provide enough quantity for that Walmart to be able to get that product out the door. And they work with our distributor partners to do that. And so we'll work directly with the distributors to try to line up producers at those distributors to get that product in the door. We also work with, we worked with over 65 other locations throughout the state, everything from Larkin Larder here in Boise to the Boise Co-op, to the Moscow Co-op, to Winter Ridge National Foods up north, to Super One, Pilgrims, Stokes, Ridley's, Atkinson. So we're trying to be really diverse in our approach and try to provide custom signage to those retailers to help a consumer be able to find that local product and understand where their food is coming from. So here's some other examples of general point of sale signage. So on the right over here, we have some nursery efforts. We've got the local organics. These are just small produce dump bins that can be used at farm stands. We also do larger ones as well. And then of course, some general plastic produce bags. We have paper bags as well, and then shelf sliders too. I did mention that we go to trade shows. So these were just a couple of the ones that we went to in 2024. Did just wrap up the Fancy Food Show in 2025 in January. And at these, we do bring Idaho Preferred members, but also just other businesses, depending on the food show, that are here in Idaho. They have to come from Idaho to be able to participate. And each of these different trade shows brings different buyers and different relationship traction and opportunities for those food crafters or producers to expand their marketplace through those connections. So I'm just going to kind of blow through these ones really quick. I just wanted to give you a general idea of what some of these campaigns might look like. So our CSA Week campaign is really just a kickoff. We have over 50 CSAs throughout the state, so it's really hard to capture all that promotion in 1 week. So we actually just kick it off with a week and then continue promoting throughout the primary share reserve season. So we did our governor's proclamation and press release. We do have our CSA resource webpage that has the directory and the guide on it. We deploy the multi-channel marketing content strategy, and then we do our best to put those educational blogs and then work with our media relations to continue to emphasize that. So you guys may currently see a video circulating of Josie from Peaceful Valley. She was the state's first CSA producer, and she's just giving a little bit of breakdown on what community supported agriculture is from a general sense to our consumer audience. So we put those ad dollars at work to be able to help spread that message and then track directly back to those producer pages on the Farm and Food Finder to help get them direct procurement connections. We do the same thing for our horticulture month. This is a 3-month promotion that we run because we do know that, it's usually from like the end of March all the way through the top of June that we really see a lot of engagement at our local nurseries. So we'll try to provide signage and do more grower tips during that time frame. We do our organics week that we also run similarly to the other strategies. Our farmers market month is pretty big because we have over 80 farmers markets throughout the state. So you'll find that we have a farmers market finder that's broken down by region. That is just become a really unique tool. It has some filters on there that make it easy for a consumer to identify different nutrition incentives. Maybe it's SNAP, EBT, maybe a farmers market has a mobile market or an online shop. So those are all new filters that we integrated into our farm and food finders farmers market pages. And then it will also call out what vendors are at the market, providing the market manager was able to give those to us throughout the season. And then here we do digital marketing kits for those promotions. So if you're a producer and you're participating in a promotion that we do try to provide these digital marketing kits that come with easy to use digital assets. So it could be a video, it could be photos, different templates for you to insert your own photos into. It might call out, hey, I'm a farmer's market producer and what farmer's market you're at, and then you can insert your own photo. There's copy that you can feel free to utilize or tweak yourself just to make posting on social media one less step in the process. We know that producers during that time, it is so busy for them. So we just try to give some good activities like bingo, different resources to make promotion simplified. Idaho Preferred Month. So this has been going on since the inception of the program. It is our big retail initiative. And we also have expanded to farm stands and other forms of direct procurement. So a lot of our restaurants kind of jump on the bandwagon as well. We do different radio remotes and travel throughout the states. Doing different pop-up events. So we will put sampling of the products that are in those stores. We'll stage those throughout with a fun interactive game. So as shoppers travel throughout the store, it becomes more of an enjoyable experience where they can go around and meet different producers. They'll get a little Idaho Preferred sticker at each place they stop at. And when they check out at the very end, they're entered into a raffle. And like I said, we always couple those with some type of engaging talent from different radio stations to help hit our radio demographic. We, of course, do our general advertising through print and then our digital efforts through social media and Google Ads. So this is just another example of, I'm using Walmart for these situations, but we'll do recap videos. In this one, we did a value added partner award for Walmart's 20 plus years of service. But here's some real world impact. One thing that was really cool is in working with our distributor partners, actually last year we were able to open up a route to North Idaho from Southern Idaho that we traditionally have not had in the past. So we were able to start bringing up commodities and products to retail locations up north just through those efforts alone, and something that normally the northern climate might need to go to bordering states for. Keeping in mind that local does look different up north, because it is such a smaller panhandle up there. And so we do know that, Spokane and Montana have become easy resource partners as well. Our media campaign efforts, so this is just an example of what that could look like when we're just running a general advertising video. So this one was for Idaho Preferred Month, and it told consumers to look for the logo when shopping and gave graphics of what's happening at those retail locations. Overall, our promotion efforts in just specialty crops alone last year surpassed 93 million. So that was a 129% increase just by working with our producers, our brokers, our distributors through sampling events and our media relations. We attend different events throughout the year. So these are just some examples. If you have an event that you feel you want our participation at, I really encourage you to reach out. We'd love to learn more and be a part of it. We try to always set up a booth, and create some engaging activity to help create with, further education. And it could be consumer oriented, or it also could be industry oriented. So keep us in mind for those as well. Our holiday gift box. So we do love our holiday gift box. This is going to be our 5th year in doing it. We usually just do 500 of them, and we fill it with as much Idaho product as we possibly can. We do 2 different collections of them to be able to spread the love to as many producers as we can as well. So you're looking at the 2 different boxes from this last year, which always end up, being great retail value. It also just brings a really unique way to connect with somebody who might not be in Idaho anymore but misses home. And honestly, we've been able to ship them to over 50 states. So it's just been a really fun initiative. If you have a product that you feel would be fun to be a part of it, we do purchase those at wholesale cost to be able to include in the boxes. All right, so here's an example of our producer learning lab. You can find this under our resource section on Idaho Preferred at the very top bar. And you have access to over 30 different business expansion classes, everything from digital marketing to just, different marketing strategies for growing your farm business. We also do interdepartmental resources. A couple examples might be GAP certification. It could be wanting to transition to organics. So you're also going to find that in our producer learning lab under the resource section. And we're going to continue to expand those throughout the year. If there's something that you're interested in learning more about here at ISDA, we'd love to be able to provide those resources. We might not be aware that there's a barrier there. And so you just let us know what your feedback is, and we'll work on developing some type of asset to provide education. Another part of our program here at ISDA is our Farm and Ranch Center. So I would be remiss to not include some of their resources in this presentation. I think they do a fantastic job at being able to showcase the other resources that are out there through some other general programs. So you'll see programs like Mission 43, the FVC, the Idaho chapter. You're also going to see different financial resources and other educations and trainings such as this. So that's just going to be on Idaho State Department of Agriculture's Farm and Ranch Center Resource Hub. And then this was just a very quick breakdown so you can see, based on what our members have communicated over the last year, our Farm and Food Finder still remains a top benefited value. Most of our producers communicate that they do receive a lot of engagement from their Farm and Food Finder directory pages. So I really encourage, producers throughout the state who want that direct engagement to get something on there, whether it is with a consumer or a wholesale audience. And then, I'll let you guys kind of just look at some of these other ones, but our top services ranked by value is going to be our social media exposure, our website resources, online promos, our photography, videography, and our retail initiatives. So I will give a little nod to something that we have coming in 2025. We are launching AgVenture Idaho, and that is going to be focused on agritourism initiatives. That is including farm stands. Maybe you do workshops on your farm. Maybe you do an Airbnb or just some other type of educational opportunity or a pollinator walk. Really, I feel like the possibilities are endless on a farm. So if you would like to be a part of that, please reach out to us as well for further promotional initiatives. Outside of that, that concludes my presentation. If you have any questions about our Idaho Preferred program, the Farm and Ranch Center, or any other ISDA resources, I hope I can be a good contact for you. And with that, I guess I will open it up to any questions that there might be.
Thank you so much, Erica. I haven't seen any questions come in through the chat yet, but we can give it a minute. Thank you for that really comprehensive overview of all the different things that you're doing to support our growers and our producers. And hopefully we can increase the number that have opted in to the Homegrown by Heroes too.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful program, and we're excited, just kind of is in its infancy at the end of 2023. So we're really excited to see those resources being able to be expanded this year.
And I have seen that those farmers that have opted in and have that branding really do seem proud of it. And it's, really on all of their products and their promotions.
Yes, yeah, we have different stickers and different signage resources that can be utilized as well. So if they have a farm stand or something on site, we have resources for that. Or if they just want to put it on their website too, that's great.
Great. All right, well, I don't see any questions, so I'll go ahead and stop the recording and end the webinar. We get a few minutes early. Well done. Oh, it looks like we do have a question. And I wonder, if she's asking where to sign up to be a member. We can put that link in the chat. Do you want to do that, Erica?
Yes, I can drop both of them. One for I'll do Idaho Preferreds, and then of course I will do the Homegrown by Heroes.
And I agree, it is a lot of information, but it's really incredible just all that you're doing out there. Oh, and we do have a question about, is there a mentorship program for new farmers?
I think that is probably more targeted at our Farm and Ranch Center resources. So I will also put a plug in the chat for our Farm and Ranch Center program manager who can be able to help make that connection.
And I can provide some resources too on being a farmer mentor and including that in part of your business model. We have, through Cultivating Success, a number of different guides on how to establish a mentoring relationship, how to set, some of the, the parameters for being a mentor. That's a great question. Maybe I can grab that really quick before we get off here. I know at different times we've had a lot of interest in people being farmer mentors, and it's certainly one of the most effective ways to learn and to share your expertise. Let me see. I will reach out via email and post that, and I'll put it in the follow-up as well, because it's going to take me a second to find that resource. Oh, actually, maybe. Oh, here we go. Okay. I got it. So you can stay on for just one more second, and I'll put that in the chat too. All right. And if you have any questions, let me know. Everything may not be there.
Okay, so I did go ahead and put in the Farm and Ranch Center program manager as well.
Good. Okay. Wonderful. We'll give people a chance to grab those contacts. And then just a quick reminder, when the webinar ends, there is going to be a pop-up survey, and I would really appreciate it if you guys would fill it out. It's like 3 questions. It's very simple. Oh. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I think our stuff in the chat is not going to everybody. So let's repost it. Hang on. Check everyone for the things that you're sharing. All right, there's the farmer mentor. We'll put a few more in. Sorry about that. Hang on.
Ariel, I'm sending over the Farm and Ranch Center veteran resources too.
Okay,
so you might...
And that's Anna. Anna is the new program manager for the Farm to Ranch Center. Farm and Ranch Center. Okay.
Well, she's back, but yes.
Okay, I was gonna say. Well, wonderful. All right, and then there is the sign up for Idaho Preferred. I think that's all the links that we put in the chat that we had only shared with each other. Sorry. All right. Well, thank you all so very much. And again, thank you, Erica, for taking time out of a busy time of year to promote and talk to our audience.
Yeah, appreciate the opportunity to share. Look forward to connecting with everybody. So thank you.
All right. Well, I'll just keep this on for a little bit so everyone gets a chance to grab those, but go ahead and leave when you need to. Thank you so much for joining us today.